Shadiversity, you saucy tart. This isn't hand-drawn equestrian erotica. This was made by a mere machine. I don't know almost anything about Chaya Raichik. Her name is just so fucking unique. I actually know it. She is the lady who started Libs of TikTok, which is a trans harassment account, but also like any lefties harassment. But I think they are responsible for a series of bomb threats and other untoward actions against trans people. She wants a trans genocide to happen. The only thing she hates more than trans people, probably, if I had to guess, Palestinians. I don't know why I would say that. I'm just going to assume. I have to look it up. It'd be stunning. She's actually like fucking pro-Palestine. That'd be wild. She talked to Taylor Lorenz, whose name I also don't particularly know. They had a conversation. It's apparently very, very embarrassing for Chaya Raichik, both of them, one of them. I don't know, but I'm interested in watching this. Thankfully, they filmed the entire interview on a busy street with no lav mics, it seems, so I can't hear a fucking thing.
First of all, I saw Seth Dillon today saying that you guys are no longer affiliated. What happened with her? I know that he invested in you early, was a huge supporter of you. What happened to that relationship?
Just parted ways.
For what reason?
Personal reasons.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, you didn't align?
Totally amicable. I love Seth.
Yeah.
Okay, so she has maybe a lav on, or is just like closer to it, but this is miserable.
Mentor.
So why wouldn't you want him involved, or why isn't he involved in the business anymore?
Just personal reasons. I'm not going to get into it.
Oh, okay. When did that sort of break off?
Recently.
Uh-huh.
It's pronounced Chaya. Don't care about her, but it's a fairly common name, I think. It is not common anywhere I'm from. Chaya. I guess because it's, yeah, I get Chaya Raichik, right? Maybe?
So how many staffers? Tell me a little bit more about your organization.
We are a small team, just a couple people.
And it's all distributed?
Thank you for the $5.
It's all distributed, as in it's all remote, pretty much? Or do you guys have an office space?
It's remote, yeah.
Got it. So when did you start, I guess, what got you into all this? I've always wanted to ask you. I wrote about sort of the history of your Twitter account, but how did you get
Why is this starting off so hostile? There was like no pre-interview. What's
involved
going
in
on?
politics?
If you watch any of my interviews, I talk about this all the time. But just, COVID radicalized me.
Yeah. In what way?
And they were like forcing us to wear masks and not letting us leave our homes.
Yeah.
And, not letting us work and people losing their jobs. And people now forcing a vaccine, an experimental vaccine, people dying from the vaccine.
So how did that get you interested in LGBTQ issues?
It got me interested in politics, and then
I love getting radical. Like when your advocacy is like specifically anti-trans, like fervently anti-trans, and then you're just like, yeah, like COVID got me into it. Like she was just sitting in a fucking like fugue state for 3 weeks while the COVID ravaged her body, just going like, fucking trans women, fuck. Dude, honestly, I feel like if there's any reason to become like a legitimate reason to become like anti-trans at all, it's being like when your brain is literally being cooked by COVID and you've got like a 103-degree fever, and like for some reason you just started watching like British like news, and you're just like watching Piers Morgan while you're like your brain's cooking, like interviewing like Gary Lineman. And it's just, I just don't understand. You just can't have women in sports fighting against men. You'd be absolutely mad. Just imagine if the Gryffindor men's hookananny fucking team was integrated and Hermione Granger caught the snitch, but she was a boy. Like, and you're just cooked. Like. You just like enter a full on like delirium state looking at your TikTok, and you're just swiping through it like your brain is just jelly, and you just hit one of those like anti-trans runs. Just she's just literally like seizing, foaming at the mouth, just like women in sports. Only then, I think, is it like, okay. This is Taylor Lorenz on her shirt. Who the fuck is Taylor Lorenz? I sort of know the name, but it sounds like a million other names. Taylor Lorenz. Columnist for the Washington Times, previously a tech reporter for the New York Times, social media editor for the Daily Mail. Oh, God. Oh, she's one of the journalists that got suspended by Elon Musk. Okay, so she just writes about the internet, so she's not like hyper political in any other way. She's my age. She's actually older than me. Her Wikipedia for some reason says born October 21, circa 1986. What? It says literally born October 21st, circa 1986, age 36 to 39. Like she's like she's some fucking unknown or like some fucking ancient king whose like birth year was listed as like the age of in the year of fine berries, where the third army marched against the wheatling lords. Taylor is interviewing. Yes.
Once I was interested in politics, I stumbled upon this.
I can tell that this is the Chaya Raichik person because she is like turning fucking pure bitch energy up to like 10 million. Also, she got that 5 head. She had an additional story added to her brain so she could think of more anti-trans shit.
This whole movement, and I was absolutely appalled by what I was seeing.
Appalled by what?
Actually, yeah, that's crazy. For somebody that has like, she like did her hair. For someone that did her hair this much, she has like no volume.
The radicalization of it, the way that they come after our most innocent and vulnerable population, or kids, the way that it makes.
I'm not gonna lie. If that was the worst picture you could find of me,
about it.
That's
there's
not
nothing
bad
logical
at all.
about chopping off kids' body parts. There's nothing logical about giving kids porn in school. There's 2 sexes, and that's it. So anything out of that, it's just based on lies and nonsense.
Yeah. Did you grow up? I know you grew up in a sort of a more conservative community. Did you know any LGBTQ people growing up? What was your exposure to that community just in life prior to sort of understanding the world through politics?
I never really paid attention to it.
So you didn't have any LGBTQ friends or anything, family members?
No.
So your first exposure to the LGBTQ world was through basically learning about it through the media ecosystem.
That's what all independent journalists are.
Say exactly what their intentions are, what their whole movement is about. So I learned about it through watching their own videos.
Chaya?
Yeah.
Chaya?
Well,
I don't know. Chaya? You just gotta hit it with you gotta put a little sauce on that. Chaya blames Taylor for doxing her. Shout out trying to find bad pictures of me. I think I was Taylor on air breaking down about crime about death.
What sort of videos were you watching? I mean, are you just talking about the TikToks that you share?
And tons more on TikTok. It's all over TikTok.
Yeah.
Very easy to find.
Yeah. I'm curious,
like
I feel like there's been, especially on, my colleagues have done great reporting on sort of like this
I just say
rift
Hanukkah.
on Twitter. I know that you have a very conservative fan base, and in your comments sometimes you'll see a lot of commentary.
Dude, like Hebrew words they're so fucking difficult for me because like I feel like the only way to say them correctly is to kind of like put on like a little bit of a Jewish accent, and I don't know if I'm being offensive or not because I'm a Hanukkah. Like I feel like I can hit it, but if I try to say if I try to white it up, I'm like Hanukkah, it doesn't hit right. But if you're talking about Hanukkah, I feel like I can hit it like Chaya Raichik. I feel like an asshole.
About sort of the great replacement theory.
What about the dildo merchant one? Still make you want to buy that dildo, wouldn't it?
The comments on your post telling me to kill myself.
Horrible. Yeah, horrible. Obviously against that. Yeah.
So will you come out and condemn that publicly?
Oh, I would condemn it anytime. I'm against murdering anyone, of course.
So you're against death threats against me?
I'm a big, as somebody that's dealt with a lot of online harassment, I don't defend threatening to murder anyone. But I guess I'm curious,
because a lot of times it comes after an attack in the media, like someone like you or another journalist.
So are you saying that, if somebody posts something and then attacks follow, that person should answer for those attacks?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people like you tell me that all the time. So I'm just asking if you think the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think I have said that here, but I think it's kind of interesting, I guess, in the conservative movement, there's this ideology around sort of white nationalism, which is obviously kind of a hardline ideology that's generally been pretty critical of Jewish communities. And I'm wondering, as a Jewish woman, how do you feel about sort of aligning yourself with those people when it counts? You see this sort of rhetoric in your replies. And I only bring it up, I'm not saying that you necessarily endorse that rhetoric, I would imagine that you don't. But how do you kind of think about those nuances when you're thinking about kind of the audience that you're building?
some of your audience says we should chop off kids' body parts. What do you think about that?
I
Not really
don't
an
know
answer.
what you're talking about.
Like a girl says she wants to be a boy, so she chops off her breasts.
I'm a big, I believe in personal liberty and bodily autonomy personally.
So kids should be able to cut off their breasts if they think that they're boys.
I mean, I believe in gender ideology. I guess I personally, my feeling is that I believe in personal liberty. I grew up in a town where a lot of people for their middle school graduation, women got nose jobs. I knew somebody that got a boob job at age 14. And I guess I struggle to kind of understand the criticism when there's certainly no criticism of that sort of thing, right? But then there's criticism of this other sort of gender affirming, stuff. So
you're comparing a boy being allowed to chop off his penis to a teenage girl getting a nose job?
Well, just to be extra clear, I don't believe that 13-year-olds are able to make those sort of medical decisions.
That's too fast.
Minors are, yeah.
Oh, really? And where?
Yeah. Children's National Hospital in DC gives 16-year-olds hysterectomies.
Oh, 16-year-olds.
They gave me that. They told me that directly. They said 16 girls and younger. That's what they said. So hysterectomies. There are definitely minors. I know for sure as young as 12 who are getting double mastectomies. They definitely allow vaginoplasties for minors and phalloplasty.
Who's they? Is it just a one? Are we still talking about the same thing? I would be interrupting her like crazy, dude. I wouldn't be able to have this conversation without somebody just being like, "You're being misogynist" or something, because I would just be talking over this chick like crazy. Like, oh, what the fuck do you mean? Hold on. Is it the same hospital? 16 and younger. What is a hysterectomy like for gender reassignment? Or do you just get hysterectomies for like cancer and shit? Do you who did you talk to? How did you prove that? I would just I would just badger this individual into dust. I'm not saying like Taylor's not doing a good job. I just literally wouldn't be able to resist the urge. It's my weakness.
I'm not aware of a specific case of a minor.
I should not have conversations with someone like Chaya Raichik, because I would come off 100% like an asshole and not care the entire time. I'd have to deal with the fallout later. I'm also, when you're swinging this camera back and forth, I would be like looking over the top. My favorite part about this so far, and I haven't even addressed it yet, is the Taylor Lorenz has her to-go container still. Like she's got a little snack for later.
But they allow 18-year-olds.
Yeah, which 18-year-olds, you're an adult. But let's just get back to the Great Replacement stuff, because I'm curious. What are your thoughts on that whole ideology?
I mean, how many? There were times that there were some months over the past 3 years that there were more illegals coming into our border than children being born in the U.S. Does that not look like they're trying to replace us?
I guess sort of imagine
bringing in
America
a whole
as
new population.
a melting pot. Isn't that sort of what America was founded
No,
on?
but they're actually bringing in more people than are actually being born.
So I guess it sounds like you sort of do ascribe to this theory of the Great Replacement. How does that make
I just
you
look at
feel?
the facts and the numbers.
Well, so, I mean, just let's give a corollary, right? A lot of Jewish people fled, Europe, came over here also as immigrants. And there's a lot of criticism towards Jewish people in those movements.
Dude, can I just say, being a proponent of Great Replacement theory as a Jewish person is crazy. That's not for y'all. You gotta understand that. If you're Jewish, that's not for you. That's not for you to be a fan of. The people that invented that, they don't like you. Like a Jewish person being fucking like, oh, the Great Replacement, I think it's happening. Like, dude, they're talking about you, bud. Everybody that invented the Great Replacement says Jews are doing it. It's a Jewish conspiracy. Hey guys, shout out fucking whatever psycho neo-Nazis watching Chaya Raichik and be like, so the Jewish chick is saying she? Is that a win for us or not? Like, I don't know. Like, God damn. I never thought that was the case. I know, the second I heard conservative and a Jewish name, I was like, oh yeah, fucking Palestinians are gonna get got in this conversation. Never thought she'd come out in a fucking, like, dude, that's like Great Replacement and fucking like ZOG are on this. That's the same level. That's like Day of the Rope level 1950s fucking racism. That's all the way back there. That's for a Jewish person to say that they believe in the Great Replacement is crazy. Like, saying anything positive about Great Replacement theory as a Jewish person is basically saying, like, I would 100% let a fucking neo-Nazi hang me. I'd be fucking super down for it. That's it. There's no argument about it. It's not you. You're not being replaced. You're doing the replacing. I think if you don't know that, if you don't know about fucking like crypto Nazi shit, that's where that comes from. It's not they're replacing white people, as in pale-skinned people. They're replacing white people, as in wasps. And if you step outside of white, Anglo-Saxon, or Protestant, they don't mean you. They don't mean you at all. They would fucking kill you. They want you dead. They think that you're fucking infiltrating the government. That's fucking psychotic. I want to have that conversation because that's the fucking most on the nose shit. Like, holy fuck.
The right movement. So I'm just wondering, as a Jewish woman, sort of how you feel about that and your role in cultivating this fan base that might think of you as a minority or an outsider.
No.
When it comes, there is no exception. Like, what? Hey, super chatted $5. Really just like bad faith questions. Like, you think kids should just be able to chop off their boobs because you must work through bad presumptions? Yeah, you gotta shut that down. You gotta jump on that and be like, can you prove that? Like, where's the proof? Because it's a loaded question. It presumes that that's happening. So it's just like it's the same thing as saying like, are you okay kicking your dog every night before you go to sleep or something like that? You know, like, wait, no, and you have to say like yes or no. And they're trying to hold you to like, well, you should be able to make a moral answer about this. And it's like, well, the premise is already like pre-answered. You know, fucking, she's dumb as shit, more than likely. I mean, this is all a miracle of incident, but like, yeah. Basic stupid question.
Not all cultures are equal. Yeah.
So I know you have a lot of concerns about educational materials and books, library.
Right-wing American Jew trying to remember your
they're
Jew and
importing
Christian
people
fundamentalist
who want
challenge,
to destroy
impossible
and
difficulty. Thank you for working up on her Gorpo-based Gorpo. Yes. Like, she JQ posts constantly like Benny Shabibo. It's called, there's actually a fucking Nazi thing for this. I've got to go over crypto fascism with you guys sometimes. I swear, so many people talk about like Nazi this and Nazi that on the online left, but they kind of just mean cops when they say it. It just means like anybody that's vaguely authoritarian. But if you get into like crypto Nazi shit, it's a whole thing. Like, this is part of the rule. It's not like you're not giving yourself a pass, right? It's all about the day of the rope, right? Which is an inevitable march toward like literally exterminating all non-whites. That's just what you do. You exterminate all non-white Christians. Like, I like you, Sully. I'll kill you last. And then the inevitable, I lied. You know? There's an aspect of it called like, I think it's queerdenken or something like that, queer thinking, or like strange thinking. You basically, it's like, I might be fucking that one up specifically. That one I think is actually an aspect of propagandizing. But basically, you intentionally bring on the good ones, useful idiots and stuff. So like she's a useful idiot. She's like literally leading her fucking people to the ovens. That's fucking every crypto Nazi is like, fuck yes. Fuck yes. Not only is she saying it as a Jewish person, admitting to it basically in their mind, because they're not gonna fucking like, oh, she's like, oh no, what I meant specifically is like the voting population. They don't hear that. They're like, oh, a Jewish person just said fucking great replacement's real. See, I told you. I knew the Jews knew about that. She's pretty highly placed. Like, that's the whole fucking kit and caboodle. That's all they want. Their whole thing is like, yeah, there's going to be useful idiots along the way. We basically push them into doing stuff, argue about free speech just so that we can say the most racist things, argue about science and shit just so that we can, you know, try to frame everything as scientific so we can kind of just undermine common thought in the scientific community, try to undermine government so that we can kind of make everything soft for a takeover. Then you take over and you just work from the ground up. Like, if the Nazis took over, they wouldn't kill all of the black people and all the Jews and stuff. They would fucking enslave them and like slowly exterminate them. Like, they would do a genocide and stuff, but it's not like instantaneous. God luck and good speed. Super chat at $5. Get gorped. You gotta fucking pause it here so you guys can keep puking on her. The Gorpo of shame, man. But like, yeah, this is, it's just crazy. It's fucking insane for any Jewish person to be saying this. Like, gnarly.
Who come here and
She's a capo?
do not stand
Yes.
for what America stands for. So, and I think, and we see it. There's time after time after time after time. They come
100
in,
years ago,
they're
Irish
destroying
wasn't
our
white.
cities, they
Yeah,
bring crime with them,
and you'll get
they are
invited
bringing
in,
them into
and then
replace us.
you get clarified back out on the way down.
Yeah, I think people from various countries, you know, they're all different.
So,
Someone said Chaya lost this
I know that you're
debate.
interested in removing a bunch of books from libraries that you consider inappropriate. I was just wondering, out of all the books that you've sort of tried to get removed, how many have you read?
I've read a couple of them.
Which ones?
Genderqueer. I've read this book.
Just trying to continue the interview. Fair.
I've read.
I think one of the biggest things is not also like, yeah, she's got to be, Taylor's probably got to be extra triple polite. I can't do this sort of thing. Like, I just can't. I used to be able to, and I don't like it, so I don't do it anymore. Basically, it was my job. I would talk to people that fucking hated me, and have to be like friendly. There's a big dance into it, but I don't like it. But she showed up with this shirt, and like all of her hair did. She probably oversold herself this whole experience in her mind to such a crazy fucking extent that it's going to take a significant push to like make her break, because she's going to have to admit an L. So she has to like start trying to force Taylor to respond in an like an emotional and like overly aggressive way, in order to say like, okay, well, if you're going to act like that, I'm done, just so that she can have an out. Otherwise, she's just going to try to meme it through.
Flamer. I've read, or some of the other ones. My Shadow is Pink.
Get puked on. Do it. Yeah.
There's so many more. Tons of them.
Thank you, Green Spade, for $10 Canadian.
Or at least I feel like you've spoken about free speech before.
Most gender-affirming care for youth is calling them by their preferred pronouns and maybe wearing different clothes. Even for teens, it's usually just puberty blockers until they're over 18. Yeah, I've never. It's simultaneously. It's such a fucking like Nazi vibe. Simultaneously, the most common thing that's ever happened, and yet you have never seen it. I've seen tons of trans kids. There's way more trans kids out there than there was when I was young, but like none of them are getting like gender reassignment surgery. It's usually just like somebody's like fucking 12-year-old kid who's just like, I like to go by her, I like to go by she, her. I prefer to go by he, him. I like they, them. And like, okay, whatever, kid, that's fine. Fuck off. I'm talking to your parents about carpentry.
And the need for free speech, and sort of supported Elon Musk's sentiments in that area. Would you say that you're a free speech supporter?
Yeah.
So how do you square the sort of being this free speech supporter with wanting to ban literature?
What kind of literature?
Any kind of literature. I mean, I would think
what
that
kind of literature am I trying to ban?
Oh, I thought you were just trying to say you've made an effort to get books removed from schools.
What kind of books?
Books dealing with LGBTQ people and sexual
education.
That's not what I said. Oh, so you're not trying to get any books banned from school?
That's not what I said either.
Okay, why don't you explain to me how you're thinking about this?
You just accused me of wanting to ban books. What kind of books am I trying to ban?
You tell me.
I'm not trying to ban anything.
But you're not trying to ban any books.
You said I'm trying to ban books.
Are you trying to remove books from libraries?
From public school libraries.
Okay. So how do you square your sort of notion of free speech and free expression and allowing all of that stuff with wanting literature removed and wanting access to information removed?
What kind of literature?
You tell me.
Porn. Gay porn. Yeah.
And what do you consider gay porn in these books?
So you want to see it?
Are you talking about the stuff that you've tweeted, basically?
Dude, I love that moment. I love that moment that every fucking conservative grifter online, they have that moment where like, I can show you the porn. I carry gay porn. I carry transgender porn with me on my phone at all times. I've got 500 fucking images. What is with you people? I swear to God, if you're out there and you're conservative, if you have fucking transgender porn on your phone, just carrying it around with you, why? I know the answer. I know the deep answer. But like, you motherfuckers. Dude, I've got 17 gigs of fucking pre-op photos and 14 more gigabytes of gay pornography. They put these in children's schools. Like, well, I mean, it's in your phone and you're hanging out with your grandson. So like, what the fuck is going on here right now? You're Uncle Gary, you're the one that's sitting at the fucking dining room table fucking saving gay porn from some hate Twitter thread on your phone. You're the one that's doing it, buddy. Why do you guys have so much fucking gay porn on your fucking phones? All you have to do is just say the book's name and describe the image. Yeah, on on page 3 of, I don't know, learning about blowjobs with Phil and Dave, Dave gets a blowjob on page 4. It's to articulate, I guess, to kids about like what's going on, and I find that that's disgusting. Like on page 4, it's kind of a graphically shown. No. They're like, I've got the pictures. When I scroll past photos of my dog or my family, the photo, like food that I've bought, I see the gay porn that I've downloaded. Even if you're like, no, I organized it. Like, come the fuck on. When you got a fucking folder for it, it's not just the one. You got to fucking pull it on. I would never keep the gigabytes of gay porn I've downloaded to gotcha arguments against randos on a street. I'm about to bust out. Dude, you are on a random street in California busting out gay porn is crazy outside of West Hollywood. Like, that's fucking gnarly, bro. She's just about to fuck. Hold on, I got you. I had to fucking, like, that's one of the biggest things. I had to fucking, like, I couldn't talk to fucking anybody, like, ostensibly straight, fucking, like, right-wing dudes that I knew on Facebook. Because, like, it would be randomly in the middle of the day, like, hey, what do you think about this? And it would be just, like a transgender chick with her dick flopping around. Like, what in the fuck? What in the fuck do you have that on your phone for? Why are you sharing that on Facebook Messenger? Like, I literally respond, like, is your account hacked? Nah, man, I just thought that was funny, dude. What do you think about that? Like, I'm blocking you is what why would you ever send anyone fucking pornography, first off? We haven't talked in 3 years, and you just sent me fucking porno off rip. Are you gonna transition? Do you need me to have your back? And you're like into me? What the fuck is the point of you sending that to me other than you're weird as fuck, bro? Like, unsolicited porno of somebody fucking else? You have that on your phone? Does your wife know about that? Like, how do you square that up? Most of you are like, I don't want someone to pick my phone up because, like, I don't know, like, you're cheating on your wife or something, right? And you're like, you might be, like, running around or something. This dude doesn't want his wife to pick up his phone because he's got 110 gigabytes of transgender and gay pornography on it saved just in case he's got a fucking gotcha argument. How many fucking Hunter Biden cock photos do you have on there? Literally 12. I've got every single, I have like dudes are like, I got the rare fucking, like, they're card collectors. I got that one. I got the 3-star edition shiny foil Hunter Biden's cock card on my phone, bro. Like, look at the fuck. This is full definition. You can't get this if you don't know anyone at the CIA. Like, if you don't know CIA contacts, you cannot see Hunter Biden's hog in such fucking clarity. Picture perfect. Pixel count is literally 300 DPI. This is print worthy, man. This is fucking print worthy. Every fucking conservative grifter in America and a weirdly massive chunk of conservatives right now in general. Every one of your uncles that's on Twitter, every single one of them has downloaded like terabytes of dicks. Terabytes of dicks, transgender porn, gay porn, are just like the gay sex parts of like children's instruction books. It's so much fucking search engine wallpaper quality Hunter Biden cock photo. Oh my god.
Yeah, like there's pictures of like blowjobs and like how to have gay sex with like naked people.
Fully erect metal hologram card.
Yeah.
Did you?
Like pictures of it.
Oh, totally. And yeah. I went to public school. And we had a sex ed class in public school where we were shown, information about sexual health and, sex and masturbation and things like that. I'm curious about your own education. I mean, was that something did you ever go to a sex ed class, or is this all sort of new to you where you're sort of learning about how this works in public schools?
I don't live under a rock.
So you did have sex ed classes when you were growing up?
We had some kind of education, yeah.
So you do think it's important for children to have education, sex education?
Not the way they're doing it in the public schools.
How are they doing it?
Oh, she went
they're
to
giving
private
support.
school? Did she go to like one of the crazy fucking dig in the tunnel under the ground?
Telling, third graders that they should
like
masturbate.
Jewish, like
they're giving middle school children
the
guides
Jewish
to
version of a
sex,
Catholic school
anal
that's
sex,
fucking mad weird.
Sex toys.
How would you describe the type of sex education that you would like to see in schools?
At this point, I want all sex education actually removed from schools because I don't trust the schools to do it.
Okay.
After what we've seen, I don't trust them at all. Zero. We need to completely eradicate it and
your
then
fake nails suck.
redo it in a normal way that's appropriate.
What?
So I saw you said that you got banned from Stripe today. How much money did you have tied up in that platform?
I'm not going to get into that. They already restored me.
Oh, okay. So you're back.
Yeah.
Slit.
I noticed, I think it was around last summer, you deleted a lot of your tweets and you kind of stopped posting. This is when Seth Dillon kind of tweeted, asking if you fell off or, saying that you weren't posting as you used to. What happened during...
Yo, fucking Chaya Raichik's over here holding on to pornography next to kids. What the fuck is up with this shit? Like, do you see kids just got in this car? Chaya Raichik's fucking walking around with like fucking gigabytes, dude. She's not a 5 terabyte enjoyer, but she is a 1 terabyte aficionado.
during that time, and did you think about quitting?
I have no idea. And no, I never
She
thought
did
about
have
it.
sex. That is fucking crazy, bro.
Why'd you delete all your old posts?
It was just a one-time editorial decision. I stand by all my posts.
She thinks everyone in high school gets a Pornhub
Speaking of
account for
deleting
sex
posts, you
ed.
still have a post up accusing the Uvalde shooter of being trans. Obviously, that's been debunked.
Yeah, there's a community note on it.
So why not remove that post if you're so comfortable with removing posts?
Because there's a community note. I think it's clear. It's obviously it was unintentional. There was a watermark on it. It was from an account that was going around. And I'm glad there's a community note so people know that.
Do
that was a mistake.
you believe if
How
say,
often
a
do you
journalist
get
posts
tricked,
something
you simple
factually
bitch?
incorrect or wrong, especially about someone else? If somebody was to say something factually wrong about you, do you believe they should remove that, or do you think they should be able to keep that content up?
Dude, I love it when you're just so morally inconsistent, but you're also... This is the problem with being a moralist, by the way. This is the problem with being a moralist. This is why fucking all right-wing conservative, hyper-moralist arguments fucking disintegrate, is because any too coquet fucking argument will probably annihilate it, because you can't not be hypocritical after a certain point. But especially when you're fucking like a worldly, non-fucking like if she wanted to actually be like the type of conservative Jewish woman that she's trying to articulate the values of, like that real ass fucking running from Chechnya in fucking like 1911, shawl on the head, cooking challah bread every fucking, whenever you're supposed to actually cook that. I think it's actually a dessert bread for special occasions. I can't remember. All I know is how to tie the knots in it. Like, you're not that kind of person. So you want to live like a real ass, like a whole worldly life, to do stuff. The only way to fucking actually like live up to that is to just be a fucking shawl wearing, non-speaking woman who sits in her house all day, does nothing of interest, and like cooks and maintains silence in like the presence of men. You're eventually going to fucking like blow yourself out. Like, even the dudes, you know what I mean? You just have to like stick to strict scripture-based like fucking talking points, because eventually you're just going to hit a point where it's like, well, yeah, I mean, I did get my nails did. You know what I'm saying? Would it be fair to say right-wingers in public with their phones out are an IRL
people lie about me all the
hazard?
time on
I mean,
there,
any
and,
fucking Republican fucking phone is.
They don't get taken down. If you want, it has to go both ways.
So you believe that people should be allowed to keep up wrong information about you?
But ultimately, yeah, she has to be a hypocrite.
Be able to keep that up.
Free speech is free speech.
Okay, so I'm kind of curious how you square that with the letter that you sent this morning to V Sphere, claiming that you were going to try to sue her for slander. If free speech is free speech, then why are you threatening your critics with lawsuits?
Well, defamation is different.
So would you call misidentifying a shooter's sexuality defamation?
No, I wouldn't. Like I said, there's already a community note on it. So I'm glad that people now.
And you admit that it's wrong, right? It was the Uvalde.
Yeah, and I wasn't the creator of that image.
Sure, but you can imagine if somebody amplified wrong information.
The media, like Washington Post and other places, they lie all the time. They're never held accountable. They never remove it. They lie and lie and lie. So I am not gonna. If you want to hold me to that level, then I get to hold you to that level as well, and all the other media. So I just don't think,
This is such a. I hope fucking Taylor Lorenz says it, but this is such a dumb thing to say, because it's like, I mean, two cocaine arguments. I mean, okay, so neither of us have to, right? So like, we can both lie. Like, you're cool with lying, and we should never do any better. Like, so no matter what, the other organization is actually still like supposed to be held to a higher standard than you, because you aren't shit. So you just lie anyway. So like, you're just admitting that you're lying. Like, what are we getting out of here? Because all she's saying is, hey, now other people have done bad things as well, but like you're supposed to be trying to be the moralist, and so if you're trying to maintain a moral consistency, and then you're saying that your lack of moral consistency is okay because they have no moral consistency, then what you're saying is moral consistency doesn't actually fucking matter in the first place. So it all just goes and falls apart completely.
It's not accurate to compare it, because
Was the Uvalde shooter trans?
the Uvalde shooter wasn't.
The idea that
Got
people
it.
want to remove
And
sex
so,
ed is wild.
I guess
In
knowing
Canada,
that
our
you posted
conservatives
wrong
aren't that
information, you're
crazy.
saying it should stay up, and everybody else should be allowed to keep whatever they have up as well.
Yeah, fucking all the places that have reduced access to free sexual education basically for kids, every single one of those places in America has some increase in some shit, you know what I mean? Basically everywhere that fucking conservatives, like DeSantis brand, fucking post-Tea Party conservatives have taken hold in, has like undergone a rapid shift back to like the 1900s. Like there's measles outbreaks in fucking Florida right now, which is awesome. And with all due respect, Floridians, you fucking deserve it. It's probably coming our way. We're in Kentucky, so like more than likely there's some like diphtheria is coming back. We're gonna go all the way back to like the Cold War days. We're gonna have diphtheria and fucking union shootings. But hey, man, it is what it is.
That's sort of your stance. Am I accurately understanding it?
Is there a law against?
No, not asking law. I'm just
lying?
asking your personal sort of opinion. I'm just kind of curious because it seems like you have come after other people, such as vSphere and other
This
critics.
is pretty hard to
saying,
watch.
"You
I think
posted
in this
wrong
case
information
it's
about me, take it
okay
down." I totally
because
get
like
that. That's
she's
your
getting her to
prerogative.
talk in public at all.
With defaming a journalist like that, they're defaming me.
And you don't think that calling a shooter trans when they weren't trans is defaming anyone?
No,
Okay, interesting. I guess I'm
they're like they're knowingly lying about me.
And what would you say that you did when you sort of posted that about the shooter being trans?
Like I said, an image that was going around for months that I shared from another thing accidentally, and I'm glad there's a community note on it.
I know you come from a more traditional family and sort of a more traditional culture. What is your family and think of your success? You've made a huge career for yourself. You're obviously
When I was
rising
between
from
13
conservative
and
media.
14,
How's that
the
affected your
teacher showed
interpersonal
American
relationships?
Pie.
I'm not gonna get
Sex ed.
personal. I'm gonna get to my personal relationship.
Yeah. How's it affected your life? I mean,
Awesome.
just dealing with this sort of fame relatively overnight.
So, I mean, thanks and partly to you, there's been a lot of like death threats, a lot of really nasty messages.
But you seem kind of proud about the press that you've received. I mean, your profile picture is holding up a newspaper with you in the headline.
Yeah, a newspaper where they just basically lied about me. I thought it's funny that they just continue to make up these like lies and libels.
You've gotten even if you discount the mainstream media and just talk about the conservative media, I think your platform has risen pretty significantly. What changes has it had on you? I mean, I cover the content creator industry, and I've seen a lot of people go from sort of a very low-key life, which I would imagine you're living.
I guess, when is this from even that she's still wearing a mask? Are they still masked up in like California or some shit? Because the flex of not needing to wear a mask, but then maybe wearing it to a Chaya Raichik fucking interview is fire. Because it's just like, I think that you might be breathing poison on me at any given time, you diseased ass bitch. Anti-vaccine motherfucker.
A massive amount of attention and, money and powerful people around you. How has that affected you?
Like I said, some safety issues. In part thanks to you and to some other members of the media. But I'm not going to get into my personal life.
Oh, no, not about your personal life. I'm just wondering about your career aspirations. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
We'll see. You can make all the plans you want, and God could decide something else.
So you don't have any sort of 5-year plan, 10-year plan?
I mean, I have plans, but nothing I'm going to share.
With she's got like such a big horse face that if she ever embraced like gender reassignment surgery and had them like attach like a horse dick, like she could be the first true like right-left crossover with Vosh.
How did you get connected with Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma, and how many times have you been to that state?
I was
Still wearing my
there
mask all the
once.
time, helps me
They
to walk
have,
past smokers
unfortunately, a
on
lot
the
of
way to
wokeness
Walmart.
in their red state.
People still smoke in my state. It's crazy.
I'm trying to help.
How'd you originally how did Oklahoma get on your radar as opposed to some others?
Because I started posting about the stuff going on in schools there, like I do across the country. And then, people were very upset that this was happening in their schools.
So, and you've been once. What do you think qualifies you to be on the board or, have to do with education, the education system there? Being that I don't believe you have children in the Oklahoma schools, you don't live in Oklahoma, you've only been once. How does that qualify you to sort of serve in that capacity?
What are the qualifications that they require to be on this committee?
USA Today reported on that, but I believe it was that you had to...
Shout out the new Chuck Tingle book, Pounded in the Butt by my former enemy, anti-trans blogger, libs of dick talk. Who's an anthropomorphic horse. The moment she touched his face, drawing him closer, fingers pushed through the fatted the thatch of his beard. Pulling his ear closer to her mouth, she whispered, "No," taking his hand off her leg. "I want to be the horse."
I might get it wrong, but it, educator, you have worked as an educator.
Okay, I was a teacher once.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay. So you feel like that qualifies you to sort of inform policies in Oklahoma?
I wasn't aware of any kind of qualifications that they require. I don't believe they require any qualifications.
Yeah, I was thinking more even just informally. But that makes sense. I guess, speaking of Oklahoma, obviously we saw the tragic death
That's the stupidest
of
joke I've ever told in my
very
life.
Child. I'm curious about your reaction. You posted a selfie shortly after people were asking you to address the issue, and you said, to the haters and the losers. Who are you addressing in that statement?
Anyone who hates me and anyone who's a loser.
Okay. Why would you choose to post that in response to people asking you to speak about the child's death?
It was not a response to that.
I guess why would you post that prior to making any statement about Nex's death?
So, just to be clear, you're trying to police me on when I'm allowed to post selfies?
No, just curious.
Pounded in the butt by
I
my
wanted to
former
post it. I thought
enemy
it was a
sounds
cute
like
picture,
a fire.
and I just decided to post it.
How do you feel about Nex's death?
It's very tragic.
At least say it like Laszlo.
Do you believe Nex should have been allowed to receive gender-affirming care?
She should not be allowed to go on irreversible puberty blockers or get sex change surgery.
How do you think?
Dude. The pounded in the butt by my former. Thank you for the visual for bed. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Pounded in the butt by my enemy, former TikTok blogger Chaya Raichik, as read by Laszlo Cravensworth. "No," she said, pushing her fake nails deeper into the thatch of his beard. "I want to be the horse. I want to be the horse." Pounded in the butt by my enemy, TikTok columnist Chaya Raichik. A consensual erotic foreplay in 3 acts.
Think about the fact that, so often your posts, things that you post about hospitals, libraries, schools, etc., after you make these posts about them, they deal with threats. Sometimes bomb threats, sometimes...
Somebody said horse switch. "I tell you," she said, lifting her rear higher in the air for him, "you bring new use to the term horse switch, young man." Vosh. Should he just be Vooshing it? Voosh. Tenderly adjusting his tasteful lavender overcoat, stepped forward, giving her a thirsty smack, and said, "Yes." "Wow," Vosh said, opening Kaya's phone. He normally was more trustworthy, but she was gone, off to the powder room. And so he took advantage to look deeper into her internet history, finding himself assailed not by the horse cock he expected, but by that of Hunter Biden, the president's only son, surviving son. "Alas and alack," he said, "that such thirsty and large cock be thrust before me, but not be shaped as though it is horses. Where can I find such non-equestrian delights?" "Wow, my dear Chaya, you seem to be chomping at the bit." Why the long face, Chaya? You know I'm ready for seconds. They don't call this the fastest 3 minutes in racing for nothing.
Harassment.
We don't know who's calling in the threat.
Yes!
And I mean, look, bomb threats are bad.
From the
inquiry
series.
Should be arrested and investigated.
Bonnie
You
loves
can't call in
this.
bomb threats. But I just don't know what does it have to do with.
Well, I guess, a recent NBC investigation found at least 33 instances where you posted about a specific person or institution, and that person or institution was immediately bombarded with death threats and violent threats.
Tyler, you're
including bomb threats,
genociding
other
your
violent
chat. My
threats.
sides. Is
That's a
everybody
pretty significant
leaving?
correlation.
I thought we were doing good.
How do you, what are your thoughts on
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but I got like tons of death threats this week after the entire media machine came after me. So are they responsible for those?
I don't think that there's the same correlation. Are you receiving bomb threats?
I'm receiving death threats like, hi, I'm gonna come murder you.
Yeah, and I definitely sympathize with you there. 'Cause I
Like
get those
literally.
every day.
Shadiversity, you saucy tart. This isn't hand-drawn equestrian erotica. This was made by a mere machine.
The article goes live, and then I get those threats.
I get the same thing.
I owe
When Fox
everything
News
I
article
am
goes
to
live.
Matt Berry
So
right now.
is the journalist responsible? The journalist who posted the article?
I would say, there's a different responsibility when we're talking about media, and I guess to me, a death threat is different than a violent bomb threat. A death threat, I think we're kind of getting normalized to them. Unfortunately, online we get a lot of them. Probably you and I get them constantly, 24/7. I'm wondering kind of how you think about taking these obscure people, right? Because you and I are both public figures, and I imagine you and I we have a high tolerance, right, for what we can handle online. Say you're taking a private citizen, a gay teacher, for instance, in a small town, and you post about that person, and then that person subsequently, who had no media presence prior, receives pretty violent threats. How does that make you feel?
We need to answer the question first, though. Is the journalist responsible for actions that have to happen after?
So you consider sort of your posts about private citizens, incendiary posts, you consider that journalism?
I'm an independent journalist.
And do you think that there's a difference between doing journalism on a completely private figure that has no public presence and no institutional power versus reporting?
Yo, I didn't realize this dude that's filming this, you can see him in the shadow right here. He's just straight holding the phone the whole time. Also, he is shaped like a silhouette in a New Yorker cartoon.
On a powerful public institution or person?
You still didn't answer the question. Is the journalist responsible for reporting for any actions that happen after the reporting?
Personally, I think that journalists should take care and should consider sort of the framing, and I think that they should do their best not to appear as if they encourage that sort of behavior. I've noticed that you haven't necessarily publicly condemned that behavior, publicly told your supporters, listen guys, stop calling in these bomb threats.
Who said it's my followers? Do you have information that it's my followers?
I guess who else's followers would it be?
I don't know.
So
there's 300 million people in this country.
So you post bomb threats follow, and you're saying it might be just unrelated people?
I have no idea. We don't know who it is.
Have you taken steps to find out?
We filed some FOIAs with police departments. Yeah.
What have you found?
We haven't got to anything useful yet that we can use. But actually, one of them, we know it's like some foreign actor, not even from the country. So who knows who it is?
Yeah.
Tintin is recording the interview.
Although I know you've been posting on Rumble. How much money have you made from the platform?
It's personal.
Matt Berry.
What portion of your revenue is based on Twitter as opposed to other platforms?
That's personal. So speaking of Twitter, do you regret not getting a blue check? Because then you can make tons of money.
No, I don't monetize online.
I don't monetize.
Yeah, I don't. If I was an independent journalist, maybe, but I'm not. I don't monetize on any of my social platforms.
Mind is blown, dude. She had nothing.
You changed your approach.
She had nothing to say to that. I'm not. So I have a job. She said my employer pays me to do that. I was paid to come out here and talk to you. I can't blue check monetize. I'm not just a shitty little Twitter celebrity. I'm a fucking journalist.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.